Have you ever wondered what happens when cultural misunderstanding meets friendship? Imagine a gripping tale of such collision set against the backdrop of early 20th century India, where societal norms and cultural clashes take center stage. Stay tuned to find out in our journey through Forster's A Passage to India. Our story starts in the early 20th century British-ruled India. Imagine a rich tapestry of cultures, a land where the air is thick with tension between the British colonizers and the native people. This is the backdrop to Forster's A Passage to India. Now, let's meet our main characters. Dr. Aziz, a young Indian Muslim physician, is a man of charm and wit, navigating the complexities of colonial rule. Then there's Mrs. Moore, an older English woman who's visiting her son, the city magistrate. She's empathetic, open-minded, and eager to understand the true essence of India. Accompanying her is Miss Quested, a young, naive, and impressionable English woman on a quest for an authentic Indian experience. Their lives intersect in a world divided by race, religion, and culture. Their interactions, their misunderstandings, and their shared experiences form the heart of this narrative. Their meeting sets in motion a series of events that will forever change their lives and their understanding of one another. A seemingly simple day trip to the Malabar Caves takes an unexpected turn. The Malabar Caves, a marvel of nature's architecture, become the stage for an incident that shakes the very foundation of the British colonial rule in India. Our protagonists, the young and charming Dr. Aziz and the curious Miss Quested, along with their company, set off to explore these caves. The day unfolds with an air of excitement and novelty. However, as the group splits up, a series of misunderstandings and misinterpretations begin to unfold. Miss Quested, finding herself alone in one of the many echoing caves, experiences a moment of panic. The echoes of the caves, the unfamiliar surroundings, and perhaps the cultural differences lead her to believe she has been assaulted. When she emerges, she is shaken and distressed. In her state of confusion, she points a finger at Dr. Aziz, accusing him of the assault. The accusation sends shockwaves through the group. Dr. Aziz, stunned and hurt, vehemently denies any wrongdoing. The incident quickly escalates, drawing in the wider community of Chandrapur. The British authorities are quick to side with Miss Quested, while the Indians rally behind Dr. Aziz. The incident sparks a trial that becomes a scandal, shaking the very fabric of the colonial society. The confusion and misunderstandings that led to the accusation reflect the broader cultural and racial misunderstandings between the British colonizers and the Indian natives. The incident exposes the deep-seated prejudices and mistrust that exist beneath the surface of their relationships despite their polite interactions. What should have been a day of exploration and camaraderie instead turns into a day of division and accusation. The Malabar Caves incident becomes a symbol of the cultural divide and misunderstanding that characterizes the colonial rule in India. The incident at the caves not only shatters the trust between friends, but also exposes the deep-seated prejudices of the colonial rule. This incident, a pivotal moment in Forster's A Passage to India, sets the stage for the rest of the narrative, highlighting the complexities of colonialism and the human capacity for misunderstanding. Now, we find ourselves in the courtroom where more than Dr. Aziz's innocence is on trial. As the gavel strikes, we're thrust into the heart of British colonial India's judicial system. Dr. Aziz stands accused, but what's really being examined here is the fraught relationship between the colonizers and the colonized. The British officials presiding over the trial are not just arbiters of justice, they're gatekeepers of a system designed to maintain their own supremacy. Colonel McBride, the district superintendent of police, takes the stand as the chief witness. He presents a case built on prejudice and stereotype, characterizing Aziz as a typical Oriental man driven by lust and devoid of morals. This is no fair trial, rather, a platform for the British to reinforce their unfounded stereotypes and, in doing so, justify their rule. But the courtroom is a stage, and every stage has its unexpected twists. Enter Miss Adela Quested, the woman at the center of this whole affair. She's expected to play her part, to affirm her accusation against Aziz. But as she takes the stand, something remarkable happens. Adela, under the intense scrutiny of the courtroom, begins to doubt her own memory of the incident at the Marabar Caves. The clarity of her accusation starts to blur, wavering under the weight of truth. In a dramatic turn of events, she retracts her accusation against Aziz, shattering the prosecution's case. The courtroom erupts in disbelief. The British officials, red-faced and flustered, scramble to salvage their dignity. And Aziz, vindicated, stands tall, a symbol of resistance against an oppressive regime. But what does this trial really signify? It's a microcosm of the greater conflict between the British and the Indians. The trial reveals the deep cultural divide, the mistrust, and the inherent bias that taints their interactions. It's a reflection of an India that's struggling under the weight of colonial rule, yearning for freedom and dignity. In the end, it's not just about a verdict, but a revelation of the deep cultural divide. The trial might be over, but the scars remain. There's a sense of unease in the air, a tension that wasn't there before. The events that unfolded in the courtroom continue to send ripples through the relationships between our characters, altering their dynamics in ways that are both subtle and profound. Let's first consider Dr. Aziz. His innocence might have been proven, but the emotional toll of the trial has left him embittered and distrusting of the British. The once cordial relationship he shared with Fielding has soured, strained by the trial and its aftermath. Their friendship, once a symbol of unity and understanding, now lies fractured amidst the debris of misunderstanding and mistrust. Then there's Mrs. Moore, whose departure from India was hastened by the strain of the incident. Her once vibrant spirit, full of curiosity and empathy for the Indian culture, has been extinguished, leaving behind a hollow echo of what once was. The woman who once served as a bridge between cultures, a beacon of understanding, has now become a distant memory. And what of Miss Quested, the woman at the center of it all? She too leaves India, but not before learning a harsh lesson about bias, prejudice, and the dangers of unfounded assumptions. Her journey, though marred by scandal and controversy, has forced her to confront her own prejudices, leaving her with a newfound understanding of the world and her place in it. In the wake of the trial, the characters are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered relationships, to navigate through the debris of their mistrust and miscommunication. It's a stark reminder of the consequences of misunderstanding, the damage that can be inflicted when cultural divides aren't bridged with empathy and understanding. In the wake of the trial, we see a change in the attitude of the characters, a change that will shape their future. The trial might have concluded, but the story is far from over. The aftermath, it seems, is just beginning. As we close the pages of A Passage to India, we are left with more than just a story. What E.M. Forster has beautifully woven is a tapestry of themes that resonate even 100 years after its publication. It's a novel that goes beyond its narrative, uncovering the complexities of cultural misunderstanding, the power of friendship, and the implications of colonialism. The theme of cultural misunderstanding sits at the very heart of A Passage to India, a land brimming with diversity. India, as depicted in the novel, is a puzzle to the British colonizers who are often caught in the quagmire of their own preconceived notions. The Marabar Caves incident, a pivotal moment in the plot, is a direct result of cultural blindness where assumptions and prejudice cloud the lens of understanding. But Forster doesn't just point out the problem, he also offers the solution: empathy, dialogue, and a willingness to understand the other. The theme of friendship is another thread that Forster pulls on, creating a complex pattern of human relationships. The friendship between Dr. Aziz and Mr. Fielding, Fraught with misunderstandings and strain is the embodiment of the struggle and possibility of cross-cultural friendships. It's a friendship that challenges the status quo, that shows us the potential of human connections that transcend societal boundaries. It's a testament to the power of friendship, the ability to see past differences, and the courage to challenge societal norms. And then there's the looming shadow of colonialism, a theme that Forster delves into with unflinching honesty. He lays bare the power dynamics, the exploitation, and the racial prejudice that underpin the colonial rule. But he also shows us the human cost of colonialism, the cracks it creates in society, and the people it leaves in its wake. But why does A Passage to India remain relevant in the 21st century? Because, despite the years that have passed, the themes it explores are timeless. In an increasingly globalized world, the importance of cross-cultural understanding cannot be overstated. The novel serves as a reminder that cultural misunderstanding can lead to conflict, but also that friendship can bridge cultural gaps. And while the days of colonialism are behind us, its echoes still reverberate in the form of systemic racism and inequality. In the end, A Passage to India isn't just a novel. It's a study in the human condition, a stark reminder of our shared humanity and the consequences of misunderstanding. It's a call for empathy, for understanding, and for the courage to challenge the status quo. It's a reminder that, despite our differences, we are all fundamentally human, capable of kindness, friendship, and understanding. And that is a message that will always be relevant. Do like, share, and subscribe our channel for more